Alright, says I'm live, you guys can hear me. Please let me know when we'll get started for the Michigan race this weekend. Definitely looking forward to not having another road course. It's nice to be back on an oval. See, there's about 70 people waiting. Chat's already busy. What's up, guys? Nice to have you. Whoops. Forgot I had it going on my phone. I'll just wait for my chat to refresh. Have some people roll in. We'll get started. What's up, dude? Always gotta have a wrench man here. JB says, "Hey Chris, been trying to tell you if you check Linktree, a little something for you." Oh yeah, I saw that, man. If you watched my preview video this week, and I gave you a little shout out for that because I didn't know how to reach you, but I did get the little donation you sent me, so thank you very much. That is always much appreciated. And I saw you did very well in the contest last week, so thank you very much, man. Much appreciated. What's up, Daniel? Daniel Suarez is in the chat. That's funny. What's up, Pedro? What's up, Corey? EZ, Hunter. Hunter already trolling. You know how he is. What's up, Wrenchman? Spread's in here. Aaron, what's up, guys? What's up, Dave? What's up, Timothy? What's up, Paper? Definitely looking forward to today's race. I'll let people roll in a little bit, and then we will get going. Just answer some questions. Already kind of went over everything I wanted to in the preview video, so just kind of hang out, chill, and get ready for the race today. We got a few hours. Usually going a little bit earlier. Went live a little bit earlier than I normally do, so we'll have a lot of extra time afterwards to make lineups. What's up, Jolly? What's up, Pedro? I appreciate you sending everybody the invites, dude. Makes it a little bit easier for me because I can't do it during the live stream. I'll also tweet out the link in a little bit, too. Make that a little bit easier. What's up, Paper? What's up, Timothy? Says, "Old man late to the party again. Any opening for the contest?" Sure is. We will get that sorted out a little bit later in the stream. But we should have plenty of time to get that filled. What's up, Daniel? Says, "Hit that like button. Chris, you're the man." Appreciate that, Daniel. Yeah, hit the like button on your way in. Really does help the stream out. Do appreciate that. Aaron says, "At work, can't watch live today. Is Blaney a good play?" I think Blaney is interesting for tournaments. Definitely wouldn't go there in cash games, but he's been really good at these track types since, pretty much the COVID era. I believe he's 5th in average green flag speed at these track types this season. I have nothing against Blaney. It's just the starting spot makes it a little bit rough. But for tournaments, he could be an outside chance at a Dominator today. Although I kind of have a hard time seeing anybody else dominate besides Kyle Larson today. He's on the pole. He's amazing at Michigan. He's been by far the best driver at these track types this year and in this aero package and just in general, really. And I honestly could see Larson leading like close to 90% of the race, to be honest. Would not surprise me whatsoever. Also, I just saw 2 people sign up on Patreon, so I do appreciate that. I believe it was Mark and... let me get the right names here. Mark and Carter. Thank you very much. I do appreciate that. Very, very much. Make sure you guys hop in Discord as well. Hunter says, "Larson going to get hit by a meteor today. Don't play him." I think the only way Larson doesn't dominate today is if he does get hit by a meteor. Outside of that, I mean, we should have another Larson domination once again. Jolly says, "Let's get that dough." Let's do it, man. Let's do it. Eric says, "I dislike chalky races. I feel like I have to get uncomfortable to be different." Yeah, that's the thing. Today's going to be a pretty chalky race. Like, Larson's going to be extreme chalk. Austin Dillon, Christopher Bell, there's some other guys that are going to be quite chalky. So if you want to get different, you kind of have to build lineups that don't really look that great, but they, the chalk bust, which it can certainly happen. It's happened many times this year. You definitely have some pretty big leverage on the field. So you kind of have to take a stance. Do you want to go way overweight in the chalk, or do you want to go like completely way under and just cross your fingers, hope for the best, and don't watch the race because you'll probably get a lot of anxiety if you do that. What's up, Steven? Good luck, everyone. Yeah, good luck to you, man. Hope you have a great race today. Corey says 80% Larson, 150 lineups too much. I think that's fine. It's a bit aggressive. It's a little bit more than I have, just because I want to try to get to some more exposure of guys like Kyle Busch, William Byron. Because if I go 80% Larson, I pretty much get like 0% Hamlin, 0% like a lot of other Dominators in my lineups, which I don't love. Like, I'd like to go 100% Larson, but I need to hedge myself a little bit because it's NASCAR, you could always blow a tire, and if that's the case, I'll win $0. So 80% is fine. It's a little bit on the high side, but I think it's okay. I mean, I'm very confident Larson today. I might be being a little bit too conservative, but I'm projecting him for around 40s in ownership today, so I'm trying to be overweight on that, which I am as of right now. I'm going to do a final rebuild before lock happens, but I don't think I'm going to stray away from what I have right now. If you guys are Patreon members, see my exposures. Larson, as of right now, is my highest owned driver. Let's see. Josh says, "No cash." Bell, Buscher, Dillon, Keselowski, Larson, and McDowell. So I like Buscher a lot today in tournaments. For cash games, though, I'm going to stray away from Buscher. Like, I know the price is nice. The problem is he's starting 11th, which I think he can finish around 11th. He could improve upon that, to be honest. He has a couple top 10s this year in this package. It's just, for cash games, it feels like an unwanted risk. Because if he finishes 15th, like, it's not terrible, but I know, it just doesn't feel great. I personally like Alfredo and McDowell as my 2 cheap drivers in cash. As ugly as that sounds with Alfredo, but he's starting in the mid-30s. It's pretty hard to pass up in cash games, in my opinion, because he can realistically gain you around 10 spots if he has a clean race, which I know can be a bit of an issue for him, but it's certainly possible. Oh, let's see. Poker says, what's up? Good vibes. Yeah, good vibes. Good vibes all around in the chat, usually. John says, Chris motivates me to drink more ice water. You're the best brother. I'm glad to hear that, John. Always got to promote the ice water here. Got a nice Daytona glass today of it. No lemon, unfortunately. Ron says, anyone going to the back? Not that I know of as of right now. I know, not dude. I know Bob tweeted earlier that the front row got through on the second try. So as of right now, I don't think anyone's going to the back. You guys are probably going to have to let me know during the live stream if anyone does get sent to the back. Really, the only ones I would care about going to the back are, like, a couple Dominators up top. Like, if Chase goes to the back or Truex, I mean, I'd probably lower my exposure to them because I'm kind of banking on their track position throughout the race. I'm not really a big fan of them anyway, but... Girlfriend's here. Miss Juliana, nice to see you. Glad you're here. Do appreciate it. We had a fun time last night at your brother's wedding. Eric says, Kyle Busch probably the best pivot for Dom. Yeah, I totally agree with you, Eric. I love Kyle Busch this weekend. He has been amazing finish-wise at these track types this year. In the 550 package, he has an average finish of 3.4, which is better than any single driver. Doesn't have quite the Dominator points that Kyle Larson has, but I'd be pretty shocked if Kyle Busch doesn't get a top 5 today. He's starting 7th. There's a chance for him to dominate. He's got some of the most laps led and fast laps in this package this year, so I'm actually a pretty big fan of Kyle Busch because I don't think a lot of people are going to play him because I'm projecting him for low 20s in ownership. Everyone's going to play Kyle Larson. Everyone's going to want to play some PD plays. You have some PD plays up top like Brad Keselowski, Joey Logano, William Byron, so I'm hoping Kyle Busch kind of gets lost in the shuffle a little bit. And, I mean, for as good as he's been in this package this year and pretty good at Michigan, I think he's a fantastic play. Let's see. For the Great says, why people prefer Kyle or Kurt Busch? I think Kurt is consistent. Well, I think I just made the case for Kyle, if that makes any sense. Kurt has really not been consistent this year. I mean, he's been very up or down. And these track types this year, his average finish is not that great. I know he's a good overall driver. He just hasn't had the best luck this season. I would much rather play Kyle Busch over Kurt Busch. I don't think that's even a question. Austin says, Briscoe or Bubba in small GPP. Ugh, that's gross. I'm going to lean Briscoe just because he starts a little bit further back. I feel like their upside is very similar. I'm going to go with Briscoe there, but it doesn't feel great saying that, to be honest. But it wouldn't feel that great saying Bubba either, so I'll go with the first option. Let's see. Effie says, hey, CP16, all you race fans, got to report that Andy and C. Austin have the debris ready for the race. Yes, you guys in the stream know who C. Austin and Andy are. They will be at the race today, so if we have someone up front that we don't want up front, we should be able to get a debris caution from them, hopefully. They just don't need to get caught. Zach to the Future says, who else for Dominators besides Larson? I would say Kyle Busch would be my second option there, and then guys like Chase Elliott, Truex, Blaney are options starting close to the front. Then later on in the race, we could see Byron Keselowski, Joey Logano make some noise, but I would probably rank it Larson, Busch, and then like Blaney, Chase Elliott, more than likely. Let's see. Jared says, good morning, NASCAR fans. Good morning, Jared. Nice to have you in here. Jay says, why is Corey out today? COVID protocols, which I think he made like a... No, never mind. I was thinking of something else. But yeah, he's out for COVID protocols. Josh Berry's going to be in the 7 car today, which I don't really have much interest there. Although I will say, Corey hasn't been bad in that car the past few races in this package. So maybe Berry will be okay, but I don't know. I just don't really see the need to want to go down there. I wouldn't hate it if you played a few. Joshua says, I'm 100% on Larson, Bell, and Buescher. Fading Dillon, too bold. How many lineups are you talking when you say 100%? Like, if you're building 3, it's not as crazy as it sounds, but if you're building 150 lineups today, and you were locking Chris Buescher, I mean, I like him in tournaments. I do. I like him quite a bit. I'm planning on being pretty overweight on Chris Buescher. I don't have him projected for, like, more than 15% ownership today. I want to be overweight on that, but Like, there's a lot of risk there starting in 11th place. It's a little crazy. And I would probably try to get some Dylan. And Dylan's been a guy that contends for top 10s at these track types for past couple of seasons, and he's starting in the late 20s. Like, I think he's a really good play today. You're just hoping on a crash, really. Big Boy says, Alfredo, Bell, Byron, Dylan, Keselowski, Suarez for cash. You're going to need Larson and cash. Like, I like all the drivers you said, but I think you need Larson for cash today. I know he's on the pole, but, I mean, he's a super heavy favorite in Vegas. I think he's like at 275, which is insane. I believe like Busch or something second around 700. So I would really want to play Larson today in cash games. Plus, he'll be so high at the point where even if he does bust, it shouldn't kill you. Corey says, Suarez, Reddick, Alfredo, all 35% owned for me so far. Too much? No, that's fine. I'm pretty close to that on all three of those drivers, really. It's actually like very, very close to what I have for Reddick and pretty much everybody else, so I think that's fine. I'm a little bit lower on not Suarez. Yeah, Suarez. I'm just a little bit lower on that because there's some other good PD plays like down there, but I think that's a fine range to be on. Dave says, who you like better, DK... Whoops. Sorry, I got him... Hold on, my MLB chat's kind of making some noise here. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but I'll mute it just for now. Okay, we're good. Anyway, Dave says, would you like better, DK, GBP, Kyle Busch, Pasta, or Byron Bubba? I'll go with the Kyle Busch side. I think he's probably the second best Dominator play today. And then Alfredo, I know it's gross, but he's a very good PD play at that price point today. This is the most Pasta I think I've had maybe all year. Maybe there's another race I had more, but I probably have a little bit too much, but I'm just hoping he doesn't wreck. And if he doesn't, I mean, I think we should be all right. Duke gave us the green flag times, 3:16 p.m., which I believe lock is at 3:14. So we have like 3 hours before lock. So I'm planning on ending this live stream like 2 hours beforehand, so we have plenty of time to build lineups today and just relax and whatever. It's also nice not having same day qualifying like last week. Last week was insane. Kind of hated it. Philip says, can we play Ryan Preece? Do you like him any? You can play Ryan Preece. I don't have much, but I do have like, I want to say like 10 to 15% Ryan Preece today just because of the PD upside. I don't like his price point very much. Like, I don't see why he's more expensive than Tyler Reddick. That doesn't make sense to me, but I mean, you can have some starting in the 30s. He has a couple good finishes at Michigan too, but I mean, he's not my most exciting driver to roster today. FE says, Harvick thoughts, CP16. So if you're looking specifically at track history, like I kind of stopped caring about track history too much ever since the COVID thing started because, we don't get practice anymore. I'm really just concerned on how they perform in this aero package this year at the tracks. And I mean, Harvick has been the man in Michigan, average finish of 2.2 with 4 wins the past 6 races, 3 in a row. But if we look at how he's performed Dominator-wise in this package this year, he has 0 laps led and 7 fast laps average per race. Like, he's getting good finishes. There's nothing wrong with that. But his average finish is 8.8. If he gets like a 6th to 8th place finish at $10,000, like, that's not optimal. He's going to have to get out front lead laps, which it's certainly something he's done before in Michigan, but especially the past 3 races. But can you really picture Kevin Harvick coming out and dominating over guys like Busch and Larson today, who have been way better in this package? Like, every single driver priced around Kevin Harvick today from the 9K range and the 10K range, they're all way better Dominator. They've been way better Dominators so far this season. Like, I just don't see what's going to change today. Like, I don't know what's really changed throughout the year for where Harvick's going to dominate today randomly. I mean, it could happen. It's probably going to happen now since I said that, but he has not shown it yet, and there is no reason to believe he's going to start doing it now. I also saw Josh just sign up on Patreon, so if you're watching the stream, do appreciate that very much, man. Thank you very much. Make sure you make sure you're synced at the Discord, and it'll automatically put you in there, and then I'll be in there after the live stream. Let's see. Jim says, do you think McDowell can get a top 15 today? Top 15 might be pushing it. I'm kind of projecting him around like an 18th, 20th place finish, which for where he's starting and the other drivers around him, that's just fine. McDowell is pretty much my favorite cheap play today. I'd say he's the safest overall down low, and I imagine he's going to be probably the highest owned out of that bunch too. Because there's really just no other cheap plays that offer you much PD upside. Like, if we look down low, we got guys like Stenhouse, who I think is a fine term play. I feel like he's kind of the same play as Buescher, but starting in 12th, scary. Briscoe's okay in 21st, but he's more of a road course guy. Wallace in 15th, Jones in 13th, so no thank you. Like, McDowell's like the only option here that looks even remotely good. And he actually has 7 top 20s and 8 races in this package this year. Although I will say the most recent race in this package was where he performed very poorly, but outside of that, he's actually been pretty solid. Josh says 1 lineup in 20 contest. I think you're the one that asked me about the 100% thing, right? So if you're playing 100% Busher and 20 max, it scares me. It's much for me. It's too much. Like if you want to go crazy on Busher, 50%, but 100% is way too much risk to take on for a guy starting in 11th, in my opinion, of a guy like Busher's caliber. Jordan says, yo, bro, I love Austin Dillon and Bell, but I'm going to make another tournament lineup without them. Good luck today, my boy. Hey, that's not a problem, Jordan, and good luck to you as well. Like, yeah, I love them too. I think they're fantastic plays, and I hope they smash, but there's a chance something goes wrong with them. It's NASCAR. I mean, any guy can get a penalty or blow a tire, so I don't hate fading them in some lineups. I don't have all my lineups including those guys. I have a lot of lineups that hedge them. I mean, there's some other good tournament plays right around them. Like, so in this 8K range, we have Alex Bowman starting in 10th place. Like, he could easily get a top 5 today, pick up fast laps, be a top 5 contender. I like Bowman a lot as a pivot down there. You have Suarez, Chastain, Eric Almirola's kind of gross there. So is Kurt Busch, but there's pivots to be had. You don't have to just go all in Bell and Austin Dillon today, even though on paper they're pretty much the best plays on the slate, pump per dollar wise. Chris says, are you playing McDowell, Alfredo, and cash, or just one or the other? Seems like the right thing to do, but can't seem to convince myself to play them both in cash. The shell build I have right now, I play around with it a little bit more after the live stream if I change my thoughts. But right now, it does have Alfredo in McDowell, and it has 2 expensive drivers, one of them being Larson, and then obviously I have Bell and Austin Dillon, so you can probably kind of figure out where I'm going. But I actually think pairing Larson with a guy like Byron, Keselowski, or Joey today is a good move to go because it kind of offsets him not having any place differential upside. Lauren says Kyle Busch or Byron. Byron's a little bit safer for where he's starting, but if you're looking for like Dominator upside, I think Kyle Busch has a little bit more in him. So I'd go with Busch in tournaments, Byron in cash games. Big Boy says Bowman going to win today. I wouldn't hate it. I'm going to actually up my Bowman exposure after I get off here. I think I'm a little bit too low. I think I'm like right in the field right now for what I have projected, but I think I want to go a little bit overweight on that. I think Byron's a pretty solid play. I like that price point too. Oh boy, my chat went all the way down. Where are we at? Okay. Jay says, how much pasta and Denberry finished like 5 in Xfinity yesterday? I have over 30% pasta. It's probably not going to end well, but I mean, it's mainly just a price and where you're starting kind of thing. Like, it's kind of hard to pass up. So I do have a good chunk of Anthony Alfredo. Timothy says, too funny. The 6 drivers you just touted actually fit in the DK lineup. Oh boy, did I just give out a really popular lineup today? I forget what I said, but I mean, it's kind of obvious where to go in cash games today. Like, it's gonna be like a 2v2 probably. In cash, like you're playing Larson, you're playing Dillon, you're playing Bell, and then you're probably playing a McDowell and Alfredo. Like, you just got to figure out the other two, really. Trick says, playing on FanDuel, no idea what I'm doing. Oh, I don't play over on FanDuel, so I'm not going to be much of a help to you. I know some people in here do play FanDuel, so hopefully they can give you some more pointers. But the same drivers I like should translate well over to FanDuel. I can't imagine there'll be too much of a discrepancy there. I just know the pricing's usually a little bit softer, so you can fit in better drivers. You don't usually have to dip down to the Alfredos of the world. John says, can you show us the info on driver ratings in this package? Thanks, Chris. I can, John. I can move that over for you just for a little bit, then I'll move it back because I like having the gray sheet up there. But if you're looking at track type form here, and there's your driver ratings right there. Average driver rating. Larson by far the best. Then Kyle Busch. Then William Byron. Keselowski. Like, Keselowski, I know people don't really like rostering Keselowski, but I mean, the guy in the 550 package this year has actually been very solid. It's his home track, starting in 20th. I think Keselowski is actually a very safe play today. I have a good chunk of him. He's actually one of my higher owned Dominators, as kind of ugly as that sounds. Gabe says, what's another Dominator to pair with Larson? If I'm using Larson, I'm probably trying to get a place differential guy, so William Byron, Brett Keselowski type, I think pairs pretty well with him. Obviously, with the money, I like Kyle Busch, but it's kind of a big chunk of change to start your lineups with. Adam says, finishing position more of a factor on FanDuel. Yeah, that's what you guys usually say, and I'll believe you. I don't play over there, but I believe you. Said, Adam, I like. Thank you, Said. Yeah, if you guys haven't already, you're just getting here. Make sure you guys leave a like. Does help the stream out quite a bit. Maybe we can get to 100. Kevin says, DK Sportsbook, Blaney top forward. Blaney top forward, huh? Let me think about that. I think Keselowski could be up there. Harvick, I think is going to be good finish-wise. I just don't really like him for DFS purposes, but I wouldn't hate that. What's the odds on Blaney being the top forward? Like, what can you get on him? Like, if it's like too low, I probably wouldn't be too interested because there's a couple of other guys, but I don't hate that. Blaney's good at Michigan. He could have won the race last year, but him and Keselowski got tangled up and ended up ruining their days. And plus, he's been very fast at these track types this year. Dr. Kendrick says Stenhouse or Buescher. I'm gonna go with Buescher there. It's close, but I'm gonna give Buescher the edge. He's been very solid at the 1 point. I know this isn't a 1.5, but it's a bigger 1.5. What's up? Something went wrong. Nice to have you here. Dude says still have 24 spots open in the Chris contest. Post your username if you need an invite. Here, I'll make it easier for you, dude. Why don't I tweet out the link right now? So if you guys want to join the contest, we got about 20 some spots left. Just go to my Twitter. It's at ChrisPennell16 in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. And I will post the link in a second. Okay. So 3, 2, 1. All right. I just tweeted the link, so make sure you guys fill that up. Because if it doesn't fill, we obviously can't do the contest. I don't think we'll have a problem doing it. We got about 2.5 hours, but make sure you guys go join so we can get that filled. JB says, hey, Chris, great info. Did you check Linktree? Yes, JB. If you watched my, at the beginning of the stream, I gave you a shout out. But if you saw the video I posted earlier in the week, I mentioned I didn't know how to contact you, but gave you a nice little thank you over there, so I do appreciate that very much. You didn't have to do that, but thank you. Rick Gill says Larson, Reddick, Kyle, Blaney. My lowest play is Alfredo. I think that's good. I like all those drivers quite a bit. I think Reddick is one of the best plays on the slate today, and he's in the 7K range. Like, I don't get the price tag on that. No reason he should be below guys like Daniel Suarez, Ross Chastain, Ryan Preece. I love Tyler Reddick today. I mean, the guy's typically like around an 8th to 12th place guy at these tracks with upside of more. So I'm a big fan of Tyler Reddick. Do I like Suarez? Yeah, Suarez, they find place differential play. Like, he's not super exciting, but he's got top 15 upside. I think Suarez is a good play. Alex Bowman, I like in tournaments. I think I was mentioning him earlier. Pretty sure that was... Yeah, I did that earlier. But I like Alex Bowman quite a bit. If you're looking at how he's done this package this year, I mean, he's got to win 4 top 5s, 6 top 10s. Not really a big lap leader, but he's in a Hendrick car, average finish inside the top 10. $8,800 starting in 10th, I think is actually a pretty good tournament play today. Dude says there could be some big wrecks today, so going crazy high with the ownership could kill all your lineups at once. That is always true. I mean, that's the one thing I don't like going super high on a guy. Like, at the end of the race, it's like, well, yeah, I wish I went 100% Larson, but there's always the chance he has an issue on pit road. He gets a penalty. Lugs aren't tight enough. Lose the tire, things like that. Or just something stupid with a back marker car getting into a guy running up front. So that's just why there's so many variables. I don't want to go 100% on a driver. Jolly says Chase Briscoe. He's one of the few 6K drivers that do offer you PD upside, so I have some exposure to him just because of that, but nothing too crazy. Oh, gosh. Chat went down. Okay. Kyle says Logano or Keselowski GPP. I'm going to go with Keselowski there. Starting one spot further back, not much more expensive. And he's been a lot better in this package than Joey has. They're kind of flip-flop, where Joey's really good in the 750. Keselowski hasn't been as much this year, although the last race in New Hampshire, he did very well. But overall, Keselowski's been very good at the 550 package this year. Thoughts on Kurt and Alex? Don't really like Kurt today, but I think Alex is a very good GPP play. I think I already went over Alex, so I'm sure you heard what I was saying before I read the question. Do I like Hamlin? Not as much, just because I like Kyle Busch more. I like Byron, and I like Keselowski in that price range with Kyle Larson as well. So I'm kind of having a hard time to get into Hamlin. I do have some exposure to him, but I am going to be underweight on him. I don't really like it, but I don't really have a choice. Thoughts on Jersey Boy Truex today? I only like Truex in the 750 races this year. The 550s just really hasn't been what it used to be in the past. Like, I think he'll be solid, but I just feel like the Truex team is kind of selling out for the short flat tracks this year because that's what the championship's going to be. So I really don't think they're going to have an amazing day at Michigan. But, I mean, he'll be okay, but the price is nice. I have some Truex. Like, I'm not fading him. I'm probably going to be a little bit underweight, though. Goody says 3 lineups all with the pasta man. Oh my goodness, that sounds scary. I'm wishing you the best of luck. 100% pasta is going to not feel great. Ron says only 77 in the pool. Let me see what it's at now. All right, we're at 91, so we have 9 spots left. So if you guys are just now getting here, I tweeted out the link, ChrisPennell16 on Twitter. Go check it out so we can get that contest filled. We got like 2.5 hours though, so we're fine. Kez Byron for cash. Whew. I'm going to go with Byron there. I just trust the Hendrick car more, but both are good plays. I'm going to go with Byron, though, if you had the money. FE says, any positives for Josh Berry? I don't think he's terrible. I mean, he could probably do what Corey LaJoie does, but even that, I'm not a big fan of Josh Berry today. Like, if you want to play him in a few lineups, you can. Pearson says, Larson, Kyle Busch, Busher, Suarez, Reddick, McDowell. What you think? I think that's a very good tournament lineup. I love Reddick in tournaments. I like Busher in tournaments. Kyle Busch, Suarez is more of a cash play, but you can play him in tournaments. I think that's a very good lineup, Pearson. Corey says, we fading Logano. I'm probably going to be close to the field, if not a little bit under on Joey today. I just haven't loved what I've seen from him in this package this year, but it's kind of hard not to like him a little bit below 10K starting in 19th. Jay says thoughts on Joey. I think hopefully that answered your question there. Let's see. Blaney or Bowman? I would go with Bowman there. I just like the extra PD upside. Like, I think you guys know I love rostering Ryan Blaney. I have some exposure to him, but the problem is he's starting third, where he's going to have to get up front at some point, get some fast laps, get some laps led, and finish like top 3 for him to work, which is possible. I mean, he could easily finish second, but I'd go with Bowman there between the two, which I think as of right now I have very similar ownership of the two, and I kind of want to get more Bowman over Blaney, so I'm going to update that on the spreadsheet when I'm done here. Now that I think about it, it just makes more sense. Don says, I'm glad baseball and NASCAR don't start at the same time. Mistakes were made last week. Oh, yeah, man. Yeah, we got baseball starting in 30 minutes, so I think we're all updated over there. But, yeah, man, you have two sports running at the same time. It gets really, really rough. Spread says, imagine Kez ruining Blaney's day. Yeah, that's what happened last year, which sucked. Sorry, I got an ice cube in my mouth. But, yeah, man, I was so heavy on Blaney that day, and then Keselowski and them that sucked. I don't want to have memories of that day. Let's see. Suarez, Bell, or Austin? I'll go with Bell there. Raw points-wise, he is like 0.2 or 3 above Austin Dillon for me. It's very close, but I'll go with Bell. Do I like Truex today? Not too much. Like, I like him at the price point, but I'm not a huge fan of Truex. I like him better at different track types. Which sounds weird, because we've always liked Truex at the 1.5s and tracks like this, which he's good here. He's good at Michigan. He's good at Auto Club. He's good at the 1.5s. It's just this year he has been way more dominant in the 750 package. Rick says Busch. Do you mean Kyle Busch? If you mean Kyle Busch, I like Kyle Busch. Kurt Busch, not so much. Adam says UFC didn't end well last night. I did it. I didn't watch yesterday. I was at a wedding, so I wasn't able to watch UFC. Although I have been watching UFC recently, and it's pretty entertaining. But I have no idea how UFC ended yesterday. Tony says, good day, mate. What's up, Tony? I don't know if it's already been said, but Jones is going back to RPM next year. What car do you think he'll have? I'm set for this weekend, so I thought I'd give some trivia. He'll be in the 43 next year. Same as, at least I believe so. I saw the news right before I got on here, though, but kind of sucks. I miss Eric Jones in the 20 car, but Bell's been a nice filler for him. Kevin says, any interest in Custer for place differential? Yeah, I have some interest in Custer. That's actually the first question we've got about him so far, but I think it's just because people don't like rostering Custer, which I totally get. Like, he kind of sucks, but $7,000 showing in 27th is certainly in play for me. Like, he's a much safer play than Stenhouse, much safer play than Newman and MDB, so I have some Custer. It just doesn't feel great for obvious reasons. Eric says, I'm in. Just use the link. Maybe I need to change my settings to be searchable. Oh, probably talking to dude there. Daniel says, Dan got here late. Hey, no problem, man. I started a little bit earlier than normal, just so people can watch this on playback, and I don't know, noon time sounds a little better. I don't like going right before lock, because then we feel a little bit time crunched. David says, what about MDB? I can't play MDB starting in 4th. I just can't do it. Like, if he finishes 6th, it's fine, but, like, if Custer finishes, like, 15th or 20th, I mean, I'd rather play Custer than MDB today, and I'd rather play Reddick. I'd rather play Priest. I'd pretty much rather play everybody in that range over MDB. I'm not a big fan of him whatsoever. Let's see. Whoops. Sorry, my chat went down. Something wrong says, I hope they go 240 miles per hour. Well, that's not going to happen today. Be cool to see, but that won't happen. Glenn Davis says, cash lineup Larson, Blaney, Bell, Dillon, Reddick, Alfredo. Blaney isn't the best cash play today. Like, if I'd rather get to like Bowman's safer in cash in my opinion. Joey, Keselowski. I just want to roster a guy starting 3rd, like Ryan Blaney today in cash games, but everything else looks pretty solid. Maybe you could drop Reddick to like a McDowell or something to get more PD upside, and then up Blaney to like a Byron or Keselowski or something. Might feel a little bit better. I think it's a good tournament lineup though. Dr. Kendrick says Busch is so likely to crash. I wouldn't say that. Kyle Busch, I don't think he's even crashed once at this kind of a track type this year. He's got an average finish of 3.4. Mark says, what are your thoughts on MDB? Obviously just the tournament play. I don't like MDB today. I know you probably asked that before I even talked about MDB, but I can't really do it starting in fourth. Like, he's going to have to hold his ground, finish like inside the top 6, or just win the race. I don't see that happening today. Ron says, will Logano end up higher than Keselowski? I think it's going to be very close. As of right now, I have Keselowski projected slightly higher owned than Joey Logano, but it's very close today. But I would rather play Kes. Steven says, man, the optimizer hates Harvick. I hate him too, man. Like, I don't have any. As of right now, I don't have any Harvick. I might try to get a little bit in there, but if I want to get more Harvick, I got to get rid of Keselowski. I got to get rid of Byron shares. I got to get rid of more Joey shares and all those guys, which does not feel great. Like, I'd rather play all those guys over Kevin Harvick. Like, it's gross. If you want Harvick in your lineup, so I'd recommend manually putting in more points in for Harvick so he pops up more than limiting his exposure. But, yeah, I'm not a big fan. I know he's very good here. Like, very, very good, but he hasn't shown any Dominator upside this season. Daniel says, anyone else here think Bowman, Blaney, and Byron will have a better day than Elliott? I could see that. I think I like all those guys more than Elliott today. Projection-wise, too. Just starting in second right beside Kyle Larson, it's going to be a little bit rough for him. Daniel says, Larson, Byron, Bell, Dillon, McDowell, Alfredo for cash. Yeah, I like that a lot, Daniel. I think it's one of the best cash lineups you can make today. Because you got Larson starting the pole. Should dominate. Should is the key word there. Byron, PD play starting around 20th. And the two obvious plays in Bell and Dillon, then McDowell and Alfredo. I think it's great. Big Boy says, favorite cash play between Buscher, Wallace, Jones, and Alfredo? Ugh. It's going to sound terrible saying this, but Alfredo. Like, he's the only guy there with PD upside. Adam says, wouldn't play Buscher in cash. Totally agree, man. I would not play Buscher in cash either. I think he's a very good tournament play today, but would not go there in cash games. OS says, Bell, Suarez, or Austin. I will go with Bell there, although it's very close between him and Austin Dillon. Dr. Kendrick says, Kyle Busch always wrecks. He's an aggressive driver. Push. This is just not true. It's just not true. Kyle Busch does not always wreck. Daniel says, got it. Thanks for the link. The dude must be doing some work for me, so good. All right, let me check and see what the contest is. All right, it's filled, so I do appreciate that, guys. Thank you very much. We have filled the contest. Don't have to worry about that anymore. So if you are just now getting here, I apologize, but we are filled. Custer for GPP? Yeah, I don't mind that. I mean, you can play him in cash games if you want, but yeah, he's fine in tournaments. Favorite place, $7,100 and under, ask Avery. Let's see. Well, it might just have to be Cole Custer there, starting at 27, to be honest. When we were just talking about him, but I would say either Custer or Buscher for tournaments, but I'd have to go raw points wise. It'd be Custer. Something wrong says I'm just gonna go with one Kyle Busch. I like Kyle quite a bit today. I would not blame you, although I know you love Kyle Busch, so it does not surprise me. Chandler says, what's the over-under? Hunter is tilting after the race. Hunter's gonna be tilting on lap 1, so I would definitely take the under on whatever you give me, or yeah, whatever you said. Pearson says, make sure you get that Blue Jay stack in. Oh, you know what, man? Blue Jays should crush today. Last time I looked, their team total was like 6.4. I love Simeon, love Bichette, and I love Corey Dickerson today. Like, they're my favorite plays. Nicholas says, thoughts on Briscoe? Briscoe is like one of the few good cheap place differential plays today, so I have interest in him just because of that. Although he typically has an average finish right around where he's starting this year, so I don't think there's a ton of upside. If this was a road course, yeah, give me all the Chase Briscoe today, but unfortunately that's not the case. Jolly says, have you ever won the top prize? I won like 6 or 7 times. I won the lug nut last year. It was like an absolute heater. I mean, I still got time for that, but haven't been quite up to that level this year, but it was like an absolute heater last season. It was amazing. Still been solid, though. Nicholas says, thoughts on Briscoe? I think I just answered that one. Paul says, 12 or 20, oops. 12 or 24 to finish best. Oh, man. Whew. If you're asking if you can use both those guys to finish first, yeah, I mean, go for it. If I had to pick between the two, though, I feel like I'd go Byron. Very close, though. I'd go Byron, though. I feel like I can trust a Hendrick car more than I can Blaney right now. Braden says favorite cash plays: Larson, Bell, Austin Dillon. Those guys are like the cash locks today. How do I feel about Briscoe? I'm sure I already answered that. So I'm sure you heard me. So, Lauren says Priest or Reddick. Oh, Reddick easily for me. Like, I know Priest has more PD upside, but Reddick is a guy that has top 5 potential. He is way too cheap. I don't understand the pricing. He should be in the 8K range. The fact that he's not, I think, is a steal. Love Tyler Reddick today. As long as Reddick does not wreck, he should be in the top 10. Assuming he brings a fast car. Is Hamlin good in the 550? He's been better in the 750 Dominator-wise. I can pull the numbers up for you, though, if you want to know the exacts. But, I mean, he's been okay. Not that he's bad or anything. Doesn't have any wins, but 3 top 5s, 4 top 10s, but not quite the Dominator points if some guys are right around him. But everything else is pretty good. Like, he's an okay play today. I just prefer Kyle Busch. Like, Busch has been so clean at these tracks. Like, I don't know why the guy's saying he always wrecks. Like, every single race this year in this 550 package, he's finished inside the top 10, 7 top 5s, 2 wins. Like, he has been amazing. So, I prefer Kyle Busch, but Hamlin's still a fun play. Bonnie says, got here a little late. Oh, yeah, shout out to Bonnie. She won, like, $11,000 last week on, like, $100 entry. Like, that's insane ROI, so gotta give a shout out to her. Absolutely crushed it. But what are your thoughts on Elliott this week? So, Elliott's a little bit tough for me. I have over 15% ownership on Elliott, but the problem is he's starting so close to the front. I prefer pairing Larson with some guys starting further in the back, like Keselowski or Joey or something like that. I still have some of them intertangled, but it's just mainly the starting spots the issue. I like the price point. He's the guy that can finish inside the top 3, which as long as he gets fast laps today, it could work out. It's just we only have 200 laps. It's not like we have like 300. So if Larson comes out and dominates today, I don't think Chase Elliott will be optimal. I think Elliott's going to have to get around Larson first. So if you want to build your lineups with, like, to have it where Elliott and Larson are in the same lineup, I think that could be a good way to go. Rowdy Dorito says Elliott or Truex. I think Elliott's got a better chance of getting up front over Truex. Daniel says, just talking to Dude there. Priest or Reddick for GPP? Reddick for me, easily. I think Reddick's one of the best tournament plays on the entire slate. I'm hoping his ownership doesn't get too crazy. I feel like every single day the ownership's going to keep getting higher for Reddick, and because I think other people are talking about too, which is totally understandable. It makes sense. My projections love him today as well. OS has $400 left on the table. Too much? No, that's perfectly fine. NASCAR is one of these sports where you do not have to just get up to $50,000 in salary cap. Kevin says, I got on Blaney as top 4 when it was plus 500, $20 wins 120. I think that's a pretty good bet. But it's only $20 anyway, so don't mind that at all. Is Josh Bilicki worth the roster spot? No, not really. I don't think you have to go down that low today. Like, once you get below Alfredo, I just don't see why you'd even need a roster of those guys, unless you want to just really jam in Busch, Larson, and, like, a Keselowski together. But even then, it's like, why? You're just limiting your upside, really. Last spot, Keselowski or Byron? I'll go with William Byron. I feel like we might have the same lineup because I was right in that same question. Cal says, top 2 GPP Dom drivers that are good in this package. So, excluding Larson, because he is obviously the cash Dom, I would say Kyle Busch. And then I think Keselowski at some point. I mean, I think he'll work his way through the field. I think he should be fast today. So, I would say Keselowski and Kyle Busch. Thoughts on Bubba? I don't have the greatest thoughts on Bubba. Like, he could get a top 15. Like, he has some okay runs this year in this package. It's just kind of hard to trust the guy. But I have a decent amount just because the 6K range outside of a couple guys is really, really bad. So I don't mind having like 15-ish% on Bubba today. Travis says, would you consider the COVID Cowboy LaJoy? Well, he's not racing today, so definitely would not want you roster Corey. Let's see, Front Row Motorsports stack, bad feeling about it. I'm right there with you, man. I am right there with you. It does not feel great, but I think it's something we have to do today, which a lot of people are going to do it as well, so it kind of makes it less scary than it normally would be. Adam says LaJoy isn't racing. That is correct. 100 people says I'm late. Can you repeat everything, please? Yes, I will repeat everything I said. All right, so starting over. What's up, guys? Just kidding. FE says 200 watching, 84 likes. Come on, folks, hit that like. Yeah, hitting that like button really does help me out. Just a little like. For the Great says, I'll take the risk and stick with Kurt Busch. He's not going to let you down. All right. JB says Larson, Byron. Oops. Okay, JB says Larson, Byron, Elliott, Dillon, McDowell, Alfredo for tournaments. I think that's pretty good. Got a little bit of a Hendrick stack going on there. Fortunately, we can't fit in Byron as well. That's just, I mean, you could, if you wanted to go full on Hendrick, you could replace Dillon with Bowman, and then you'd probably have to go to, like, from McDowell, you might have to go to like a Josh Berry kind of guy, but you can make that work. But I think 3 of those guys, I think it's a pretty good lineup for tournaments. Am I fading Eric Jones? Pretty much. I might have like 5% Jones, but that's only because the 6K range kind of sucks, but I don't like Jones at all. He'll probably finish around 20th place, which for where he's starting in 13th is not good. Dude says over under on half flips. I don't think we'll see a flip today. I'll take the under. Massey says Hunter talked me into more Byron earlier. Well, I agree with Hunter this time. I can get behind some Byron. John says, who's your favorite for a top 5 besides Larson? Kyle Busch. I mean, if all goes well, Kyle Busch has pretty much been a top 5 contender each and every single time with these track types this year, so I'll take Kyle. I'm sure you do agree, dude. I know you love Kurt Busch. Jolly says, why are you so high on Larson today? Well, he's awesome at Michigan. He won 3 races in a row here before, but he has been by far, like, it's not even close, the guy at this aero package this year. Like, let me just pull up the numbers for you. I'm sure I've said it many times, but, I mean, Larson he's the man. He's got 2 wins. I know it's the same with Kyle Busch, but look at the laps led and fast laps. Like, no one's even close to having his speed this year. 106.4 laps led per race and 43.5 fast laps. The guy in second is like William Byron and Keselowski both at 22.9. Like, he is by far the most dominant driver in this package. He's first in average green flag speed. He's starting on the pole. It's a track he's good at. I mean, I don't see a reason why you wouldn't like Kyle Larson. I mean, yeah, I know he's in the pole and anything can happen, but I mean, assuming he has the same speed he usually does, I know we don't have practice, so it's kind of not as easy to tell, but I'd have a hard time not seeing Kyle Larson do what he usually does. Oh, I just saw a dono, so we can look at that really quick. Nicholas says, and I do appreciate that. Thank you very much, man, for the 5. 9,200 left on the table. We need 1 driver. Who would you choose, Chris? Love the content. We'll continue to support. I have Bell, Dillon, Larson, Pasta, and Reddick. Thank you so much, Nicholas. I really do appreciate that. If you have 9,200 left and you already have Larson, Bell, Dillon, Pasta, Reddick, I would probably go with Alex Bowman there, to be honest. I'm tempted to say a guy like Ryan Blaney or Chase Elliott, but since you already have Larson, I think it makes more sense to get some extra PD there. So I'll take the other Hendrick driver and Alex Bowman starting in 10th, who has top 5 upside. And then as I say that, Alex Bowman, he probably crashes on lap 5, so hopefully I didn't jinx you there, but thank you very much. Edwin says, last spot, Keselowski or Byron. I would go with Byron there. Chris Davis says, I'm on about 40% Bubba in tournaments. Is that too much? I would say it's too much. I don't have nearly that. I mean, that's just my personal preference, though, but I'd have a hard time trusting 40% Bubba today. McDowell or Pasta? I'll go with McDowell there. I think he's a safer play overall. I know he doesn't have as much PD upside, but I think he has higher finishing position potential. MC says, evening, Chris? Where are you that it's evening? Maybe over in England? You have to let me know. But anyway, anyone going to the rear? Just got in from baseball, so not caught up from Bob yet. Yeah, hopefully no one got ruled out in baseball. If there's anything that crazy happened in baseball, please let me know. I'll try to fix that, but hopefully nothing happened there. But anyway, yeah, I don't know if anyone's going to the rear because I just started the stream, and last thing I saw was Bob saying that the front row was good. So if anyone's going to the rear, you guys got to let me know. You guys are my eyes and ears right now when I'm on stream. But I have not seen anything as of yet. But since the front row is good to go, I don't think I really care if anyone else goes to the back, unless we get like a Truex or something. Gary says, thoughts on Alfredo and McDowell. Those are like your 2 good, cheap cash game cheap plays today. Like, it's not pretty, but for where they're starting and the price points and everyone else around them, it's like you kind of have to go there, as awful as it sounds. Is anyone going to own MDB? I have MDB projected for like 5% ownership today, like 5 to 7%, so not really, relatively. And I think it makes sense. Like, it's kind of tough to get the MDB today. Let's see. Duke coming in with some info here. Let's see. Top 5 is Larson, Kyle Busch, Harvick, Truex, Elliott. Okay. I'm not going to read that all, but thank you very much, dude. Let's see. Dave says, Bell or Dillon for GPP? I mean, kind of hard to pick between the 2. I'd say Bell, though. I have Bell like projected for like 0.2 or 3 points higher. Picking hairs, though. Jay says this is a 2.5 mile track. Chris, it's a 2 mile, but it's pretty much a 1.5. Like comparable tracks like Kansas, Charlotte. I mean, low wear 1.5 pretty much, but I'm throwing in all the 1.5s and pretty much all the 550 races this year, which is an 8 race sample size. Thoughts on Chastain? I prefer Chastain on the 750 and road courses from what we've seen this year, but he's got top 15 potential. Like, I don't hate him. I have like close to 20% today. If that tells you anything. I think he's a nice pivot off of some of the chalkier drivers right around him. Chris says, do I need Larson in cash or can I start with Byron? I think you need Larson in cash today. Like I know he's on the pole. If he happens to not lead laps today and something bad happens where he finishes like 12th and does nothing, like, yeah, it's going to suck. It's going to suck a lot. But in cash games, he's going to be like highest on driver, so it doesn't really matter what he does. I would just eat the chalk there. Like, that's the beauty of cash games. Like, really good plays. If Bell, Dillon, and Larson crash today in cash games, you could probably still cash. Like, everyone's going to play them. Everyone. Whoops. Chuck says, Priest versus Suarez or neither for GPP. I would go with Suarez there. Something went wrong says, Kyle Larson is really good at Michigan, even in his Chip Ganassi a few years back. Yeah. I mean, Larson won 3 races in a row in the 42 car. Like, now he's in the 5 car. Like, I see no reason why Kyle Larson can't put on a clinic today. To answer your question, Aaron, I don't play on Super Draft, but since the multiplier is very close for Byron there, I would go with Byron because I just feel like he's got a little bit more upside. Nicholas says Reddick is too cheap. I don't get it. I don't either. Like why is Reddick not like in the 8K range? It doesn't make sense to me. Like, Reddick should be more expensive than Eric Almirola. Probably more expensive than Kurt Busch. Like, he should be right around where Kurt Busch and Eric Almirola are. And Bell and Dillon, don't even get me started on that. They should be close to $9,000. So, I don't get the price tag on Reddick. Like, no reason at all he should be below Ryan Preece. Like, come on. It's kind of a joke. Says, I wonder if Larson's price point takes him out of the optimal even in first. If Larson leads a bunch of laps today and finishes first, he'll be in the optimal for sure. If this was a road course, you can make the case for that. But we had 200 laps, 100 some Dominator points. Like, if he leads half the race and wins, he'll 100% be in the optimal today. Something wrong says it's 12:50 a.m. in my country, but I'm a NASCAR fan. Where you at, man? That's 12:50. That's what, 12 hours behind? I don't even know where that would be at. Where are you at? Sounds like it'd be somewhere around Asia? Asia sounds about right. MC says you're in New England. I thought so. That's pretty cool that people watch over across from the pond. Dude says Barry and Gase to the rear. Replacement drivers, yeah. Yeah, I forgot to mention that. Yeah, Barry's going to go to the rear because he's a replacement driver. Then Joey Gase, who cares? You know. Jack says under 6K. If you're asking me for anyone viable under 6K, I would say Anthony Alfredo. Oops. Reddick or Dillon for GPP. So everyone's going to play Austin Dillon. So if you're looking for the leverage pivot, it would be Tyler Reddick for me. Both guys look very good for me today. I'm a big fan of all the RCR cars. Kind of lumping in Daniel Suarez in there because, you know, it's kind of like the third RCR car there. Dude says tech complete, no one else to the rear. That is awesome. Makes things easier for us. We don't have to adjust anything. Chuck says cash core. It's probably the most obvious cash core this week ever, but it's Larson, Dillon, and Bell. I just don't see how you can get away from those guys in cash this week. Tevin says, what is a good GPP exposure for Harvick and Almirola? 0 to 10% probably. I don't really like those drivers today. They've been very bad at I don't want to say very bad. Like, relative to where Harvick is priced at, he hasn't been good per se for DFS purposes. Like, he gets good finishes, but he doesn't dominate. And then Anthony Alfredo, Eric Almirola. It's not good when Eric Almirola is getting mixed in with Anthony Alfredo for me, but he just hasn't been really good in this package either. Totally agree with what Dude said. Big Boy says Hamlin or Byron for cash. I would go with Byron there, just a little bit more PD upside. Chris says cash, Larson, Keselowski, Bell, Dillon, McDowell, Alfredo, or Byron, Keselowski, Bell. I'm going to go with the first one there. Got to get my Larson in. So I'll go with the first option. Travis says, missed most of the stream. Darn, what's the main take today? No problem, Travis. You still made it. Not done quite yet. Probably won't be here too much longer, but as long as you guys have questions, I will be here. But, what was your question? Oh, what's the main take today? The main take is hopefully it's Larson and print day. Besides that, I mean, obvious cash plays are Austin Dillon, Christopher Bell, tournaments, Tyler Reddick, Kyle Busch. They look very good. But yeah, nothing too crazy. Kind of just hanging out, answer some questions, and drinking some water. Chuck says, what's up with Chase's pricing this week? I think it's just a starting spot kind of thing because there's other guys like starting further back, like Logano, Keselowski, Busch. It makes sense, I think, where he's priced. I mean, it's kind of weird because it's Chase Elliott and he's really low, but starting second, you know, it's kind of tough. Sorry, I thought I had that swap for a second. I thought I had Blaney at 2 and Elliott at 3. Who's in the rear? Asked Bubba. I believe it's just Josh Berry, Joey Gase, and then that's it, I believe. I think that's what Dude just said. And then potentially Bubba at the end of the race. I mean, the guy loves wrecking. But I do have some Bubba today. So hopefully he doesn't wreck. Spread says he's watching across from the pond. That's a Discord-only joke there. The Goodie says, Chastain, Dillon, or Suarez, pick one. Dillon for me. Corey says, what are your favorites for Dominators today? I would say in this order, Larson, Kyle Busch, and then since they're starting so close to the front, like Chase Elliott, Ryan Blaney, and then like a Keselowski, Byron kind of guy. Jeremy says, Joey Gase, who cares? Yeah, who cares? We're not playing Joey Gase today. Chris Davis says, Byron or Keselowski for cash games. Every person that asks me this question, I know exactly what your lineup is, because that's what I had. So I know exactly what your lineup is. I would say Byron. Pedro says, Chris, what's your take on Buescher? I like Buescher a lot in tournaments. Like, let's just pull up his numbers in the 550 this year. Like, he's actually been pretty solid. So, in this package this year, Buescher, average finish inside the top 14, running position around 15th, 3 top 10s, 4 top 15s, and inside the top 20 each and every single time. I know starting at 11th is very scary, but at $6,500, even if he loses a couple spots, like, if we pull up the heat map for Chris Buescher, I think it's actually probably a good thing to do here. So, Buescher right here, sell 12. If he finishes right where he starts, that's 32 points, which at $6,500, I believe is his price tag, is not bad. If he loses a couple spots, 13th, 28th, 12th, 30th. Like, if he hits his average finish, we're talking like 27-some fantasy points, and at that price point, that's not bad. For Michael McDowell, a similar price point to get 27, he would need to get to around 20th place, which, I mean, I think they're kind of similar place today, really, and you get like half the ownership on Chris Buescher. Something wrong says, I'm from the Philippines. Yes, it's in Asia, but weirdly Hispanic. Even our currencies are like Latin countries. Oh, interesting. So I was pretty close to my guess. That's pretty cool that you're watching from over here, especially like 1 in the morning. That's some dedication to you. Do appreciate that. Big Boy says, is Bell, Bowman, Dillon, Larson, McDowell, Reddick okay for cash games? That's okay. I think you have Dillon and Bell, right? Dillon, Bell. As long as you have Dillon, Bell, and Larson, everyone else, as long as they're not terrible plays, I think is a fine way to go in cash. Keselowski last 2 finishes scare me. Don't forget, though, we were at road courses. It's not the same. But I get it. I get it. But it's not. These are at road courses. Something wrong says 200 viewers. Yep. 220, I think, right now. This thing isn't updated. I think I've been on for about an hour, so unless you guys have any dire questions, I'll probably get out of here soon so you guys can build lineups. People can watch it on playback, but I'll be here as long as you guys want me to, really. Spread says, yes, I'm actually in the water, no boat. Oh, you're in the water today, Spread? Chris says, Byron or Keselowski in cash. I would go with William Byron. It's close, though. It's close. Big Boy says, for cash, Byron and Alfredo or Bowman and Reddick? Oh, man. Like, tournaments. In tournaments, I feel like I'd say Bowman and Reddick. In cash games, though, Byron and Alfredo sounds like the better option. Dude says, MLB, FYI, heavy rain likely in Atlanta and Baltimore. Might want to swap out. Thank you very much, Dude. Thank you very much. For those of you playing MLB. How much Buescher in 100 lines? I like the over. I'd say like above 20% is probably a good way to be. I think Buescher's a good play today. Unless if Buescher comes out and sucks, I mean, if he finishes around 20th, no, this isn't going to work. But that's why he's a tournament play. Opinions on Custer today in GPP? I think Custer's a good play. Like, he's starting 27th. I mean, I know he kind of sucks, but if he finishes top 25, it's not like he should get positive PD play today, or PD points, and he should finish around 20th place, which not too bad at $7,000. Massey's, oh, I already answered that one. Vinny says, I got Blaney top 4 at plus 800 earlier this week. I got a good feeling about that. I think that's a good bet, plus 800. Blaney could easily be the top 4 today. Could be a battle between him, Harvick, and Keselowski, really. Matthew says, what's some good cash plays? Larson, Bell, Dillon. It's really hard not to play those guys in cash today. All right, well, I think I caught up to the chat. So if you guys don't have anything else, I'll probably get out of here. And then we can build lineups, and people that just got here can watch this on playback if they want. But I'm just going to double check a few things. What's a good cheap play, 7K and under? Michael McDowell, Anthony Alfredo, Chris Buescher. These are just pretty good plays down low. But with that being said, I'll probably get out of here now. So I do appreciate everyone stopping by. How do I feel about Ricky? I feel like Ricky is almost the same exact play as Chris Buescher, to be honest. I just like him slightly less because his price tag is a little bit up there compared to Buescher, like $400 more. And they both have top 15 potential here. And I don't think Stenhouse is going to have like any ownership whatsoever. I think he's going to be close to like 10-something%. I probably want to be overweight on that. So I think Stenhouse is a pretty good term play. But yeah, you're welcome, Brett. Thank you very much. I do appreciate everyone stopping by. Make sure you leave a like on the way out. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you want to check out Patreon, link is down below in the description for that if you want to hop into the Discord. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I'll get out of here, and I wish you guys the best.